Good morning, and welcome to Charlie's Corner. Now, we've been discussing the big questions, and the big questions I've covered so far are fun to contemplate, but they're not like the fifth one. The fifth big question is the most important of all of them, and it really matters. The fifth big question is, why are we here? What is our purpose in life? So, this one is probably going to be a two-part video because it's a lot to cover in this. It's a big question, and it's important that you understand. So, grab you a cup of coffee, have a seat, and let's get started. Now, many years ago, he's passed away now, but I had a stepdad. It was the father of my two older brothers. And he was Native American. He was Cherokee and Arapaho, but he had been adapted into the Lakota tribe. And so a lot of his, what he told me, he taught me traditional Native American ways. We actually got to be really close. And most of what he taught me goes along the lines of the Lakota tribe. He was sitting across the table from me one time, and he tells me, "You need to go on a vision quest." And I'm like, "What?" And he told me about it. Young men, Native American men, they often seek a vision, and then with their giving, it's not guaranteed. Not everyone gets one, but if you get a vision, then you use that vision for the rest of your life. It gives you a power. And so he guided me through that. And it takes 4 days, and some tribes use psychedelic drugs. Some tribes don't. We didn't. What you do is you spend 4 days without any food or water out in the middle of nowhere by yourself. And I was in the woods, and I had a fire going. Nighttime came, and I'm sitting by this campfire, and then I don't know what day it was, but on one of the days, the earth just dropped away from me, and I'm sitting cross-legged in front of a fire, and there's like all just blackness around me, like space. And the campfire, all of a sudden it became a star. And it was Anpao-Winchapi, the Eastern Star. Now, in the Lakota beliefs, each direction has purpose. The north is for like purity. The south is family. The west is where you go when you die. And the east is where knowledge comes from. So Anpao-Winchapi actually represented wisdom. And so the star says to me, ask me a question. I'll answer any question you give me. Well, what do you ask a star when you're offered to know anything? I thought for a minute, and my question was, why are we here? We're forever beings. Why are we here? What is this life about? And Paul Winchop, he said that the answer to that was it was about love. That love was the most important thing, and we had to learn, and most people don't. But that was our purpose, was to learn to love, to learn about love. And we talked for a while, and then the star like pulsed, and I was sitting on the ground again in front of a campfire. And so when the 4 days was over, I went back out of the woods, and I sat down with my stepdad, and I told him about the vision. And he says to me, he says, "You know what you are?" He goes, "You're an inside-out apple." Now, a derogatory term for a Native American is when you're called an apple, it's a bad thing. Okay, you're red on the outside and white on the inside, and it's an insult. What he was calling me was an inside-out apple. He said I was white on the outside and red on the inside, and it was a very good compliment. One of the best compliments I've ever had. So now I'm on a quest, right? I'm a young man. I'm on a quest now. I know that the purpose of life is to learn about love, to learn what love is, to actually be able to grasp that concept. And I began digging, which is what I do. I dig when I have a question. A good place to start digging is in all the religions, not just one, all of them. You just, an interesting, an interesting thing about that is that most religions actually, if you look at it, they kind of center around that. They all of them touch on it at least. The Hindus, which is they're like the oldest religion, organized religion that's still in existence today. They started like way back before even human recorded history, and they're still around today. A major religion, Hinduism, and so I'm reading, about that and what the Hindus say about that, and I don't know, these guys. It was a confusing religion. They have like so many gods. It's over 3,500 gods, and it's complicated. And what it came down to with them was self-love. You must love yourself in order to be able to love yourself in order to love anyone else. And so the whole purpose was to learn to love yourself. I actually have no problem with that. I mean, I'm not a bad guy. I try and do what's right. I'm the funniest guy I know. I crack myself up all the time, and when I'm pretty interesting. Never a dull moment with me. So, I talk to myself all the time, and we have interesting conversations. Yeah. So I mean, there's no malintent in me, so I don't really have a problem with that. I love me. I mean, I need to work on me. like everyone, I need to work on me, and I do that continuously. How can I be a better man? I wake up in the morning thinking that, okay, today, how can I be better than I was yesterday? And I've done that my whole life. But I really have no problem loving myself. So that didn't really fully answer the questions I had about love. So then we moved to Buddhism. Buddha. He was about 500 BC. And he had originally been a Hindu. And he didn't agree with the Hindus too much either. And so he started his own religion. And basically, in his view, there is no God. It's just power in the universe or whatever. But their concept of love is to wish well on everyone. And I think that's part of it, but I think it goes a lot deeper than that. It really didn't dive deep enough into, love is probably like the deepest subject you could ever talk about, and just to wish well on people and that they be happy. I think it's more than that. One of the ironic things about Buddha, I bet he's rolling in his grave because, like, he didn't actually, believe in a deity, in an all-powerful deity, and but over the years, all these branches of Buddhism, they've created these different Buddhist gods, and even to the extent of making him into a deity or a god. And I know that just makes him roll over in his grave, because he's like, no, you're missing the point. Because it's not about that. So, but to say people just have made him into a god, and that's just kind of ironic. So we're going to move up to the Muslims, because I want to come back to Christianity. But the Muslims were 500 years after Christ, and when Muhammad, or whatever his name was, came in, and their concept of love basically revolves around different things merit different levels of love, and you can love some things and hate some people. You can love some people and hate some people depending on if they merit love or not. And they got it completely wrong. That didn't set well at all with me. I mean, you can't understand love and chop heads off of people and kill them just because they're not Muslim. The mindset is, if you're not Muslim, you're not even, human, and it's just wrong. They're probably the most lost of any of the religions, in my view. That's just my opinion. So let's move back up to the next one. So now we move up to Christians, which were about the time of Christ. Go figure. And now, there's some key things you read in the New Testament that actually the Christian concept, or Jesus concept, not so much the Christian, I'll tell you in a minute, but the Jesus concept of love, I think hits it best on the head, the nail on the head. Let me read. I'm going to read a couple things, a passage, and it's Matthew 22:36 through 40, and Jesus is out talking to people, and I think he was being trying to be tricked at this time by the Pharisees and Sadducees, the Jewish people and leaders. And they said, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? They're trying to trap him. And Jesus said to them, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. And that's true. Actually, that's fact. If you love God with all your heart and all your soul, and if you love your neighbor like you love yourself, like you're not going to steal from yourself, you don't lie to yourself, you don't beat yourself up. It's abnormal. You're not going to do all these things to people if you treat them like you want to be treated. And so that's what you do. You love God and try to follow God. You choose, remember, free will and fate. So you choose to follow God. And then you just treat everybody like you would want to be treated. That makes perfect sense to me. And it doesn't stop there. The very best definition of love actually comes from 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 7. All right? Now, I'm going to read through it completely. All right? But a lot of people, including myself, and I had to do this, you stop. I'll show you. It goes, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. That is just brilliant. I couldn't said it better myself. No, just kidding. But when you read this, you got to stop at the periods and the commas and consider what it's saying when it says love is patient. Okay, what exactly does that mean? Understand that concept about love. It keeps no record of wrongs. All right, with each time there's a comma or a period, stop and explore that a little bit. Understand that. All right? So we're going to cut it right here and end part 1. And we will do part 2 next. Join me next time for part 2 of Why Are We Here? What is our purpose? I'll see you next time on Charlie's Corner.